Scottish band Mogwai has been pushing musical boundaries and wowing audiences for more than 25 years, and now we get to see the behind-the-scenes story for ourselves with their new documentary, If the Stars Had Sound. Here to give us a sneak peek, director Anthony Crook and band members Stuart Braithwaite, Dominic Aitchison, and Martin Bulloch. Here we are at the South by Southwest studio. Welcome, everybody. How you doing?
Good, thanks. Thank you for having us.
Oh, chill. No, thanks for being here. This is like some legendary stuff happening right now, and I'm just here to soak it in, man. Also, I should say welcome back to South by Southwest, because you guys have been here quite a few times, like performing and things of that sort. Yeah. What has the conference meant to the development of the band, and like what has it meant to some of you guys personally?
We've just always had a good time when we've came to play. I think the first time we came was maybe 2001, and we'd never actually been to Texas at that point, so it was like quite exciting to come to a different new part of America. And yeah, we've always had a good time here.
Mm-hmm. That's great. Do you have like any funny stories you guys want to share from like your past appearances being at South by Southwest?
I don't know. Funny. We're low on laughs. Yeah, we're low on laughs. Like usually, if something's funny, it's because something terrible has happened.
Oh, really?
Yeah, in a musical sense.
Right. Okay.
So no, I think we've just had pretty good shows, and there's a band from. Well, actually, we know a couple of bands from here, but we've done a lot of shows with one band in particular, and you will know us by the Trail of Dead, and we've kind of had a lot of mischief with them over the years. So yeah, we've got a connection.
Yeah. Too cool to laugh, but still having fun. I like that.
In fact, they got banned from playing this festival. Yeah. I remember one show, and like they threw a drum kit into a ravine.
Yeah, but we were playing a show together at Emo's when it still used to be downtown, and yeah, they always at that time they always trashed their gear at the end of the show.
It was just like their thing.
And it was their thing, and
it's an expensive thing.
Yeah, there was a river going past the venue, and they just chucked everything in the river off the stage, and the people that from the venue were furious.
Oh my god!
So they got banned from Emo's. I remember.
I think as well. Like I was walking about today, and they've built like a fancy new train here, and I think that's where it was.
Right. Okay.
I was kind of thinking it used to be like a venue full of rats here, and now it's.
Is that the night there was a plague of insects?
Yes, I think that might have been the same night.
Yeah. This just sounds like a crazy night.
It was a crazy night.
Yeah,
I thought they were like cockroaches, but they weren't. But they were really these disgusting bugs, and there was millions of them flying about.
Yeah, there was like one of them. They were like
Texas
crickets
bugs
or something, but just flew. One of them jumped right into our front of house engineer's mouth when he was trying to mix the show, which was. Well, we thought it was funny. We didn't get much sympathy from us.
That sounds like Texas, man. I'm from Los Angeles, so like we hear stories of the Texas bugs out here, and I'm happy to know that they didn't disappoint.
Oh, they certainly didn't. I've
We
never
don't
seen
really-
anything like that.
We don't really have bugs like that in Scotland, so it's like when they get here,
I mean,
it's
you're just like not ready for it.
not good. It's not good.
Well, in terms of like the kit though, like does somebody go fetch it, or do someone put it on eBay immediately?
No idea. I have no idea how much gear they managed to actually fish back out of the.
Yeah, I don't think it would have been any use to anyone. It would have been driftwood by the time it hit the water.
Right. Well, shoot, we talked about your performing, but like now you're not just back performing. You talked about how you have a performance later on tonight, but you're here with a documentary, and like, so how does that feel? Like not like being for South by Southwest for two different things.
It's pretty weird. I mean, it's going to be the film's showing tomorrow, and yeah, Anthony made the film, and we've been involved, but not as intensely, obviously, as Anthony. So it's going to be interesting seeing people watch it. You excited, Anthony?
Yeah. I mean, it's great. It's amazing that we could get the guys here to perform as well alongside the film. It's a perfect way to show it. We think, people can see the band and then get to see the film as well. It's kind of like just what we hope for. It's perfect.
Yeah, it's like a double Oscar nominee. Like you're nominated for 2 awards, and now you're just here double duty right now.
It's just worked out great. So we're very excited. We're very excited to be able to do it the day after.
Right.
And yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Can you please share like the backstory of like the documentary? As I understand it, this started off as like a short film, right? And now it's like a full-blown like doc.
Yeah, it started off different actually. Yeah, Stuart and I first had a conversation about making the film, and the original idea actually was these guys were going to make their album, their 10 studio album, which the film is about, And the original idea was to, Mogwai were going to play the album in the Highlands of Scotland, so they were going to travel and tour the Highlands of Scotland and play a certain, like a number of shows in the Highlands. And we were going to make a film about that, and that was the plan.
And record near you.
And yeah, and then they were going to record in New York. I live in New York, and these guys were going to come to New York and record, and then take it to Scotland and play it in the Highlands. So it was like almost like a tour film. That was the original idea. And then we started working on that, and COVID arrived, and things just started changing, and everything just kind of started like being cancelled. All the shows, because the shows in Scotland were booked, weren't they?
They were on sale.
Yeah, they're on sale. We're selling tickets for it. Yeah, so this was kind of January, February 2020. And then the world just started changing, and the shows were cancelled, and these guys thought they'd still try and continue to make the album anyway. And then I was living in New York. I couldn't travel to Glasgow, so I couldn't kind of film them recording the album. So we just figured out ways to send GoPros in, and they were self-shooting. And we continued to make the film in this, and from there it kind of grew. It grew to what it is now, which is like a full kind of history of the band, and a big wide view at their career and other people they've worked with, and Glasgow as a city in Scotland. So it kind of expanded and grew into a bigger thing out of this like difficult situation. And and I don't want to like give the story away too much, but their album went on to get their first #1. So it was amazing that we were able to kind of start with this idea that the album might not have been able to be made, and they went on to kind of make history with it.
That's incredible.
So it was it was great for all of us.
It is pretty great, and it's incredible things come out of like left turns that life kind of gives us, and the pandemic is like definitely one of them, right? When it comes to making this movie, I just want to know from like everyone, was there anything like kind of off limits? Was there any like hesitations or kind of like fears when it comes to making this movie? Or is there just an openness to just like kind of like put it all out there?
Well, there was lots of archive footage that we had from a long time ago. Some friends of ours had come on tour and with a camera and were just following us around the UK or Europe, wherever it was. And I had to go through most of that footage to look at it and see what was appropriate. And I had a conversation with you, didn't I? About you might see some stuff that's just like not really for public consumption.
Let's just keep that. Like,
keep that out the road.
DVD extras.
No, I remember there's one bit that you were looking for.
I sat through hours of footage, and I was watching it, and I'm like, oh my god.
Well, now you can like release a naughty cut if you ever want to play those.
It's not even naughty. It's just embarrassing.
Yeah,
we were.
We were pretty young when we started the band, so like
pretty idiotic.
Yeah, we weren't the most sophisticated people.
Yeah.
But
certainly not.
I often think I'm glad we didn't grow up in the kind of iPhone era.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, you just let a bunch of people just go like, we gotta find that footage.
Yeah.
Let's see what's happening. Well, keep it locked in the vault.
Yeah, it's going to get burnt.
Yeah.
Set fire.
Well,
It wasn't that
we
bad.
still have to be
Being
nice to him because he has it.
Oh, he's got the
He's
all
got
the
it all,
archive.
so we have to be really nice to him.
You can hold them hostage with this stuff.
That's why we're here.
You didn't want to come, but he's like, hey, I got that one time you did that thing. You sit on that couch.
I mean, in all seriousness though, I think like we kind of we've got a good relationship with Anthony. Like we've been kind of doing things together, making videos. Anthony's done like some like record covers for us and stuff. So I mean, we're friends. So we kind of it would be a difficult project to do, and I think we found that with a lot of things with the band that like once you kind of have a good relationship with someone, things are a lot easier. There's kind of like no kind of second guessing people or anything like that. You just let people get on with it, and we're really happy with how it's turned out.
Cool.
Yeah, there's a level of trust between us all, so I think that's important in a project like this, and so that it was great. And a lot of the time I was just left to be able to make it really, and it, these guys were kind of happy with it, just going that way really, and well, there wasn't a lot of changes actually when we made the edit. It was just quite a straightforward process actually. We were kind of aligned on the whole direction of it, I think, from the beginning, and we ended up in a place where we all just loved it. So yeah, it's pretty straightforward, really. Yeah.
Looking at the film now, like, do you have any like strong emotions like that come to mind like when you're watching it, or anything that just gives you like a strong reaction?
I think because so much of it is around the pandemic, which I think as a species, a lot of people have kind of like almost like forgotten about it or tried to forget about it.
Right.
Some of it, you're just watching the footage and remembering like, fuck, we had to like wear masks all the time.
Yeah.
You know, like we were in the studio wearing masks and legitimate fears of getting sick and all this kind of stuff. So I think that's something that anytime I watch it, it kind of brings back a lot of kind of memories that I'd kind of buried a little bit. But yeah, a lot. In the midst of all that, we managed to kind of make this record that we're really happy with, and the record did really well. So it's kind of there's a lot of things going on, and I think that kind of is kind of what makes the film is that it's not an easy time,
Right.
but we kind of struggled through. You know, that was the hardest record we've ever made. You know.
Yeah, it's almost like in the NBA when they had to go through the bubble and play basketball, right? Like I would kill to see like footage of like what it was like within that bubble, because the way it's described, it's such a time that, you know, again, you say people want to forget about it, but like it happened. There's a whole championship to attest to like the determination to make that. So making the album during that time must have been difficult. So like I'm happy that people actually get to see this. With that same thought, fill in the blank here on the sentence. Everyone can like kind of like put this in, all right? When people walk out of the premiere of this movie, you want them to say that this movie is blank.
I'd say that kind of I want people to say that it's, I don't know, story of a interesting band, I guess. We're not the most regular band. We're mostly instrumental, kind of not the most conformist band or whatever. And yeah, it's I guess every band's different. So it's just kind of a story of one of the better bands from Glasgow.
Those other bands are like, can't argue.
There'll be plenty of bands that could argue in Glasgow.
And well, yeah.
It's the competitiveness. We love competitiveness, but we also love the bravado of the statement. It's great. Now
I didn't say the best. I said one of the better. I could have said the best.
Yeah, see, that's good. One of the better. Yeah. So you're leaving some humbleness in there.
Yeah, I'm humble. Known for it.
So as a little something about me, like I love like film, like literally that's what my career is kind of like built off of, which is why I'm sitting here talking to you guys. And one of my favorite things about film is like music scoring and like just music soundtracks and things of that sort. And you guys have scored multiple like films at this point. And so I just want to kind of ask you how did that shape like your careers, right? And do you look at film and documentaries differently because of like the soundtrack work now?
I definitely kind of notice when I don't think someone's done a good job because I've spent so long thinking about it. To be honest, the guy that should really be answering this is Barry, who's not here. He plays piano in the band. He does an awful lot of the soundtrack stuff.
He does the heavy lifting
but,
when it comes to the soundtrack stuff.
It's been a good thing for the band. It's been good. It was actually really good in the pandemic because it meant we could do things other than go on tour, you know, because there was that whole period when no one could go and do shows, and which was a real struggle. So that kind of, I think we did 2 soundtracks during that, maybe 3. Anyway, yeah, it's a good thing to be able to do something different.
Right. Ludwig Göransson won the Oscar last night for Best Score for Oppenheimer. You think he did a good job?
I've not seen it yet.
I've not seen the movie.
I thought the music was pretty good. It was unbelievably loud. I saw it at the IMAX, and it was like going to see My Bloody Valentine or something like that. It was pretty intense. Yeah, it was. I thought it was a good score. I really liked Zone of Interest.
God,
I thought that would. I would have given
Yeah.
the Oscar for that.
Yeah,
I thought that
yeah.
was.
I think that was
outrageous.
a better achievement musically, that film. Yeah, it's Mika Levi that did that.
Yeah, it was
she's
great.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, unbelievable. Yeah.
I'm glad to get that thoughts on you. That's
Yeah, it's
really
really good.
cool. Yeah.
Really good.
I'm a big fan of Ludwig, and like Zone of Interest, like that score is like top notch. It was a lot of strong scores this year. So,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
to get like the thoughts from you guys is I love that. What's the key to a like powerful but yet complementary soundtrack, right? Because for soundtrack, you can't overpower what's going on screen, but it has to kind of like underscore what's going on. So what's the key to that, do you guys think?
Restraint. Like a lot, and I think when we first started doing soundtracks, a lot of people asked us because they liked our music, and a lot of our music's really OTT, and they were like, want to make it super intense, and we were like, no.
Yeah, you realise quite quickly that just
Doesn't
very
work.
few
Right.
occasions it would actually be justified or
Yeah,
work. So yeah.
Got to dial it back.
Okay, dial it back. Okay. Anybody who's trying to score some movies?
Be lazy.
Yeah.
So what messages and bits of advice do you give to like a younger version of like a Mogwai band member playing here for the first time?
Just enjoy yourself and have fun. That's the whole point of being a band, I think.
Yeah.
Don't let people come on tour with video cameras.
Yeah.
We're back to the archival footage. All right, great. What are the keys for like staying together? Like, because obviously, like getting money and all this type of things can put strains on it. But
Yeah.
Codependency.
codependency is the way to do it.
I think you just need to be friends with the people you work with. That's definitely the most important aspect of it. I mean, we know over the years we've met a lot of bands and musicians that just don't like each other, and it must be an incredibly tough situation to work in.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think it's worth the toll it would take in your mental health to be stuck in a van
Right.
with people you hate for 2 months.
Yeah, find some friends. That's the main one.
I mean,
I like
the
that
film
one.
talks a little bit about this also. Like, I think one of the reasons these guys have been together for so long and still making such great work is they, it's the personalities, and like they are modest, so they probably won't talk about this, but they're very modest, and it's not gone to their head, the success that they've had, and they're just the same people they were when they started, and it's not affected them or changed them or made them, or they've not got egos. I noticed that from hanging around with them. There's no ego, and that creates a culture within the band that just creates great work and great music, and they continue making it, and ego doesn't mess it up, and ego doesn't get in the way, and they don't change the sound because of it. They continue refining this thing they do, making it more beautiful, more special, more unique, and they've not wavered or bended or moved to fashion or kind of bowed in any kind of fashionable direction or kind of just stayed true to the course, really, regardless of what everyone else is doing, and just continue. And I think that's why they've been here so long and still making great work for those reasons.
Yeah, the only time I can think of where a band was like not liking each other and made a great piece of work is Fleetwood Mac. And that's the exception, not the rule. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's the only time I can think about that ever. And people think that that's going to create a conducive, like, working thing.
I mean, I'm sure there's some people that works for them. I mean, I think you definitely do get some people that thrive in a bit of chaos. But, yeah.
But they don't last that long, though, do they? They fall out, and you know what I mean? It's over, you know what I mean?
For, like, long-lasting, like, careers and friendships, right? And finally, like, how does it feel having all of this attention from, like, audiences and listeners, like, at this point in your careers? How is that going for y'all?
It's pretty wild.
Better than no attention.
Yeah, no, it's...
Yeah, like we just, before we came out here, we went and played in Australia and New Zealand and played to more people than we've ever played before. And it's kind of, I guess because our music's not very fashion orientated, like different generations of people will come and it's really nice. I'm super grateful and really, really, really thankful of that, because I don't know what else I could do. I'm definitely not going to like learn a trade at this point.
At that point, like, I can't go back.
I can't go back. I'm playing guitar. I'm playing guitar. That's it.
You're a lifer.
Yeah.
No, I'm at that point too, man. I'm like, I can't work the 9 to 5 right now.
Absolutely.
Yeah, well, thank you so much, guys, for coming to the South by
Thank you for
Southwest
having us.
Studios.
Cheers, thanks for having us.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you for being here. And thank you guys at home for watching. Make sure you catch all of our interviews on the South by YouTube page. That's youtube.com/SXSW. Juju Green here. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you guys next time. This was great, man.
Cheers, man.
No, thank you.
Thanks so much.